Hello everybody, let's have a look at Matic, but we'll start with Bitcoin just very briefly, because it would appear that Bitcoin's sort of taking the lead with the movements of the market, and if Bitcoin was to drop, and it was to drop from this level here that we are on as we speak, down to the 8,000 area, that's almost, well, it's 4.5% drop, and probably a little more, so we might even see a 5% drop, and that is going to affect the rest of the market because we've had some significant pumps with coins like Matic. Now Matic's pulling back. If we did have a pullback at this point with Bitcoin, we probably would see a significant pullback with Matic. So just bear that in mind. So anyway, we'll just start with the video here. We've got definite still sort of movement to be had with Bitcoin. Maybe wanting to break this 21-day close where we've currently been rejected from on the daily. Rejected from it on this big green candle here as well the first time, but these last 2 days prior broke above it, but again significantly rejected from this massively overstretched area here, and that's quite a big wick actually to be rejected from. So it looks like the pressure is on to the down, but that does not mean that it can't push up again. The rule is with Bitcoin as it speaks at the moment, if it breaks down from the level of here, which is about 8,250, then we're going to be coming down to test the 8,000 again and perhaps lower. Obviously see some bounces. Look at the way that this is moving now. It reminds us exactly of how we tested that 10,000 area many times. With dips beneath it and buybacks and whatnot. Looks to me like we're very similar in the way that it's moving from that 10,000 area. So it's just repeating its movements from this level. That's what I expect to see here. So currently we are on the 10 simple. We're sort of floating on it and currently resting on it. If we break down from the 10 simple, then we're down to the 8,000 and lower, and probably be hanging around this area for a little while, to be honest with you. And the cycle low overall is likely to be ending quite soon, so we might be seeing an opportunity for Bitcoin to really break out of this pattern. The longer that we stay in this pattern, the longer this long big wedge that we've been stuck under for all this time gets lower and lower and lower. So it will at one point have to break out of there, and there will be a big breakout. And once that's pierced for the first time, and we break out of there, then we can really start to talk about being bullish. But at the moment, we've got support and resistances. Our first level of support is currently where we are right now. 8,250. That breaks down into the 8,000s fine. 8,600 is our main level of resistance, and I know that yesterday we smashed way above that in the early hours of the morning, but a massive rejection as well, so that was definitely overbought at the time, and you could see that because the candle closed back underneath the 8,600 area. So that's a quick recap on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Matic and see what's been going on with Matic. So Matic made huge moves, over 60% moves from top to bottom. Where we are still right at this point now is 47%, so it's pretty good. Obviously it's very good actually. We're on the 12-hourly chart here because I want to show you something. When we're looking at this chart with the Ichimoku cloud, which is something I do like to look at, and this coin is very immature, so this might not have any relevance to it whatsoever, but we'll just go over it anyway. We do have a cross here above the cloud on the Ichimoku baseline and conversion line, most of the time signifying some form of continuation of a move from this level. So we are definitely consolidating from this, which is to be expected. Nothing should go up this high this fast without having some pullback, so we're having a significant pullback now. That's fine. What I would like to see is I'd like to see that Ichimoku cloud cross on the daily, and because this move was so big and so strong, it's the Ichimoku cloud cross here it's not allowing it to take place right now. We would have to begin to see some form of continuation for this cross to take place, and even if it did take place, it would take place beneath the cloud, and it looks quite forced to me. But I'm holding on to that as a bit of hopium for Matic, even though, like I say, the way that the Ichi cloud works is generally better for something with a much longer lifespan than Matic's had. Matic's still wet behind the ears. It's not exactly a chart that's very easy to read, but we do have supports and resistances that are working very well for us. So get out of that. We have blue box territories, which we smashed right through on the sats level here, no problem, straight through that. And actually, when you're looking at this on the daily, you know, we did have a cross over here on the itchy cloud, but like I say, it still looks a little bit forced to me. What we are looking for now is to break up and above this area, which is a massive blue box territory, signifying huge resistance all the way through it. And on our first test of it, massive sell-off. So it would have been a great idea to sell at this area. Those who did, well done. And where do you buy it back? I would probably, if you're not buying it back now, it might be consolidating down back to this level, around 172 area. And that might have been your chance at the bottom of that wick, but there's a chance that when Bitcoin, if Bitcoin breaks down, Matic's going to break down with it, so perhaps maybe we could think about buying it within this blue box, rather than perhaps maybe the top. Perhaps the first opportunity could be this this 7-day close, being 164 satoshis, and maybe the 10 simple, which is 153. I know that sounds tragic considering how far it's gone, but think about how far it's come from. So at the end of the day, it's still doing very, very, very well for itself. If you're more interested in trading it through the tether pairing, then yes, it's not looking as great, because we've been rejected from, I mean, you can see how this blue box territory works perfectly, really. We come into it, we close all on these levels specifically. We're below it again now, which isn't a great thing. We're finding support within this this cloud here. The cloud sort of is going to be difficult for it to get all the way to the bottom without finding bounces, but like I say, it's completely within the realms of possibility that it will break down under the cloud. And unfortunately, if it does break down beneath the cloud, it's going to be it's not going to be pretty. We're probably going to have another sell-off to this level. That's where it is now, back down to perhaps maybe the green, so perhaps another 14% down for Matic. If Bitcoin breaks down. If Bitcoin doesn't break down and hangs around this area, maybe Matic has the opportunity to pick it up again, but nothing generally makes these sort of moves without having to have some form of consolidation. Even back here when we had this massive parabolic move, you know, we had big rejections here. Then from there to there, that was a 32% retracement from that high before it carried on with its parabolic top. And again, when we from here to here, that was almost a 20% retracement from there to there. So, you know, you can't have big moves without some form of consolidation afterwards. Now, I am not anticipating a move like this. I'm definitely not anticipating a move like this to take place. But what I would expect to see is perhaps hanging around above this cloud or just within it, but hopefully not break down beneath it. So our levels could go down to as low as perhaps we'll call it 1.4 cent before we can start to get really worried. Ideally though, I would like to see a continuation of this move, come back up to test this blue box territory, and eventually, if we can, break above the 1.8 cent area. We can then move on to the 2 cents and above, but at the moment, consolidating, perfectly normal, perfectly natural, and we'll give it a few days to see which direction it wants to take. Unfortunately, however, I do believe that it's going to be related to Bitcoin now. Bitcoin could have done whatever it wanted to have done and probably not have interfered with this bold move of Matic. This was just out of the blue, really. It did break out of this out of a descending trend, as we can see here. This wedge broke and we had this big boom here. But yeah, if Bitcoin decided to fall at this point, it might have actually benefited Matic, because Matic's moves were so strong and the volume was so high that that it actually probably could have increased its sats even further, obviously, as Bitcoin falls. But now it's slowed down and will probably be subject to further retracement if Bitcoin falls. So we have to keep our eye on Bitcoin, and even if Bitcoin does fall, it's not likely to fall further than about 5.5%, but that would probably be amplified by Matic's pullback, in my view. On occasion, Matic can benefit from Bitcoin's pullbacks, but I don't think at this moment in time, I don't think that that's a possibility. I think it's more likely that Matic will fall with Bitcoin and actually amplify those moves and retrace more. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, it is consolidating. It needs to consolidate after these moves. We just don't want to see it pull back any more than another 5% or so from where it's come from now. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, and I hope you have a nice weekend. Take it easy and have a good one.